Okay, good morning, everybody. Let's do some yoga. I'm feeling like I need to just shake out some cobwebs a little bit. It's November and I feel like I need some movement as kind of self-care. So we're just gonna dive right in. So you can come to standing at the top of your mat if you're not already and just connect with your breath and your intention. We are going to be using Ujjayi Pranayama today, so it's that little whispering sound at the back of the throat. Another way of thinking of it is the ribs are expanding and lifting on the inhale. Drawing in and down on the exhale. When you're ready, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. And step back into a downward dog. Let's take a breath or two here. We're just getting started. Come forward to plank, maybe on the knees for this first one. We're going to do knees, chest, and chin. So going to stick your bum up, draw the shoulders onto your back, and try to land your chest in between your hands. Then point the toes, press the hips down, and lift your heart. Exhale back to downward dog. And we'll take some breaths here. Feel free to move around if you want. Bend one knee at a time. And then we're going to lift up the heels as we inhale, look forward, bend the knees, and at the bottom of the exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat. I'm not quite ready to hop yet. Still warming up. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, rising all the way up to standing. And then hands to the heart. Again, reaching the arms up. And folding down. Halfway lift. Step back into your downward facing dog. Come right away, inhale into plank pose, on or off the knees. Again, let's try knees, chest, and shin. Point the toes, inhale, shoulders onto the back, cobra. And then downward facing dog. Then inhale as you lift the heels, bend the knees, look forward, wait for the bottom of your exhale to step or hop to the top of your mat. Half lift. And fold. Bend the knees, rising all the way up. Hands to the heart, Surya Namaskar A. Once again, reaching up. And folding down. Halfway lift. And step back, downward dog. Inhale, plank. If you want, you can do chaturanga. I'm going to stick with knees, chest, and chin. Really nice way of building strength. Be helpful for alignment. Back to downward dog. About 3 breaths here. Inversions are so good in the winter months. I mean, they're good anytime, but we can kind of feel a little cold and stagnant in the winter months, and it can be really nice to just get the blood flowing in the reverse direction, and downward dog already does that. Okay, when you're ready, inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees. Upper step, half lift on your inhale, and fold. And the knees rising all the way up. And to the heart. Namaskar. See, let's inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive down. Halfway lift, draw forward. This time as you exhale, the right foot's going to step back and you can lower your knee. Heart and hands rise, inhale. Downward dog as you exhale. Come forward to plank. And you could do knees, chest, and chin. You could do a little push-up with your elbows in close, or chaturanga, which I'm kind of warming up to, and then cobra or up dog. And then press back to downward dog. Right away, your right leg is going to go up to the sky. Oops. And step through. Back knee can come down, arms up. And forward fold. Halfway lift. And fold. And the knees rising up. This time on the exhale, we're going to go right back down again. Follow your breath. It's okay to go faster, slower than me. Half lift. Left foot back. Yeah. Downward dog. Through Vinyasa. So plank. Lower down all the way or halfway, or you could do a little push-up. And then pull through to your cobra or your back bend. Upward dog. Back to down dog. And then the left leg will rise. And through. Yeah. And to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. And fold. Bend the knees, rising all the way up. Hands to the heart. So we're going to do that full sequence again. Reaching up. And down. Up lift. Right foot back. You can keep the knee lifted if you want. Rise up. Downward dog, and take your vinyasa, which could always be cat and cow, or just hanging out in downward dog, or even child's pose. Just go with your energy where it is right now. Right leg will rise. And through. Inhale. And forward bend. Half lift. And fold. And the knees rising up. And fold down. Halfway lift. Left foot back. And downward dog through your vinyasa. Plank. Maybe chaturanga, which is halfway down. And then pull through. Downward dog. Left leg rises. And inhale. And forward bend. Halfway lift. And fold. Bend the knees, rising all the way up. Bring the hands to the heart and just take a few moments to receive, to breathe. Okay, let's lean left, pick up your right knee. And take a big step back into warrior two. Whoa, watch the cat. So you're going to land the heel at about 90 degrees. So front heel in line with the back arch. You can open the arms up. Soften the shoulders and breathe into this. So some days you want to kind of wriggle and move and come in and out. Some days it's just more still. So see where you're at today. I'm just really wanting to be in my breath. In the next inhale, we're going to exalt the warrior. So you can reach up with your left arm and back. Make sure your front knee stays over your ankle, okay? Legs stay strong. You can stay reaching up here. Sometimes it's nice to hold the back of the skull. Maybe wrap the back arm around your lower back. Then straighten that front leg. We're going to come into triangle, so you might want to shorten your stance just a little bit. Tip the hips back, reach forward so you're nice and long through that left side waist. Very lightly place the hand and reach the right arm up. Long through the sides of the neck. I've got a little bit of connection between my hand and my shin, and I'm actually pushing my shin into my hand, so I'm not kind of collapsing down into it. I'm using that as a little rebound to get a little more space in my pose. Okay, we're going to take an inhale, and then we're going to spin that right hand all the way down to the inside of the front foot as we come onto the ball of the back foot, and inch that foot a little farther back. So you're in a nice long lunge here, and then the left arm is going to open up to the sky. If you want to lower your back knee down, you absolutely can. Hug the shoulders onto the back and breathe. Inhale, and then release the hands and step back up to the top of the mat. Halfway lift. Exhale to fold. This time, let's roll up. Take your time, find your core, strengthen your legs. Coming back to your breath, to standing. Find your weight in your right foot, pick up your left knee. And then big step back for warrior two. So you want your front heel right over your ankle, heel to heel alignment, or front heel to back arch, opening the arms, leveling the pelvis. And then exalt the warrior, reach up, lean back. This is kind of classic pose, just to stay aware of that front knee. You can hold the back of the skull if you want. Half bind with the left hand can work too. Strong legs, long right side waist. And then triangle, maybe shorten the stance a bit, straighten but don't lock the knee, tip the hips back, reach forward, and a little negotiation between the shin and the hand. Shoulders sliding down the back, nice and long through the waist. Inhale, and then we'll come into that long twist. So the left hand comes down on the inside of the front leg, ball of the back foot, lengthen that stance a little bit, and reach the right arm to the sky. Release the hand, we'll gently step forward to the top of the mat once again. Halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Okay, option one, stay here in your fold as long as you'd like. Option two, we're going to rise up to standing, and we're going to add a Surya Namaskar A, the Jivamukti style that we've been doing. So you can reach the arms up and fold down. Halfway lift. Step back or jump back if you're comfortable with that practice. I'm not going to teach it today. And then taking your vinyasa as you like it. I'm going to do that knees, chest, and chin again. Cobra. Downward dog. Few breaths here. Lift the heels, bend the knees, look forward, and jump or step. Halfway lift. And fold. And we're all going to meet in standing. So if you're taking a little rest there, you can roll up. And sweep up if you like, hands at heart. Just taking a moment. Okay, lift up your toes, spread them apart, connect them down. Lean left, pick up your right leg and hold on to the outer foot. So we're going to be pointing the knee down, drawing the tailbone in. You can use a wall for support if you need it. Make sure you're not locking into your left knee. If you squeeze your butt, that's actually going to help release the quad even a little bit more. You can stay right here just working with the balance and the stretch, or sneak your right hand to the inside of the leg, bend the standing leg even a little bit more, and we're going to expand the heart and the left hand forward, the right leg back into dancer's pose. Gaze steady. Let the shoulder come back. Gently rise. If you can, extend the leg forward. And then place it down. You might want to shake that out a little bit, roll the toes. Sometimes the toes really grip when we're doing our balance. I'll prepare for second side. Lift the toes, spread them apart. Reconnect them. Lean right, hold on to the left foot with your left hand. Right hand can come to your heart. And I've got my ring finger tucked into my thumb. I find that mudra so helpful for balance. Then activate, tailbone down, glutes are active. Lower back is kind of long, shoulder back. We're trying to keep the hips pretty much pointed forward. And you can stay or take the palm of your hand to the inside of the leg. So you're taking the palm across the toes. Bend the standing leg even more and take it into dancers. Hips still mostly facing forward. Gaze steady. Ooh, this side is harder. And then gently coming back through center. Pick up the knees, straighten the leg if you can, and release. You can shake that out. Take a moment. You can add a namaskar here if you wish, or just stay in standing breathing. Few breaths in downward dog if you're doing namaskar with me. Okay, and then we'll make our way back up to the top of the mat. You can hop if you want, or step. Halfway lift. And fold, and we'll meet our friends standing. Hands at the heart, just taking a moment to feel. Okay, so feet hips distance, or they could be together. Bend your knees, reach your arms forward and up. So we're coming into chair pose. And you want your core engaged here, your lower back long but not tucked. So nice neutral back. Shoulders down the back, and I don't really care how high the hands go. It's more about the shoulders drawing down out of the ears. Press the heels down and apart and feel your glutes working. Breathe. Maybe on the exhale you sink a little. And on the inhale you press into the heels and rise slightly. Okay, and then some of you are going to come all the way down into a squat. You're going to widen your knees apart, reach forward, and come onto the balls of your feet, okay? And this is a sort of low malasana, so I'm sort of sinking down. I'm actually going to turn so I can show you. If this hurts your knees, please don't do this. I'll show you an alternative in a second. So I'm actually working my knees wide, my hands forward and heels toward the ground. They may or may not touch. Whoop. And that might happen. So sometimes you topple, sometimes you don't. Okay, alternatively, you can come into standing forward bend or standing, take the feet nice and wide and take a more classic version of a squat, maybe sitting on blocks. If that doesn't work for you, you can just sit your butt right down. We'll meet you there in a moment. I'm gonna try that Malasana squat. They're both called Malasana. This one is a version of Malasana. I can't remember the specific name of it though, but I find it really helpful to widen my knees quite a bit. And again, depends on what I've been doing. Sometimes I can get the heels and the head down. There's also a version where you thread your hands underneath your shins. I've almost got my feet down, heels down. Okay, and then let's sit down, everybody. You can release your legs and give them a wobble. And then step your feet onto the mat, but stay up seated. We're going to do a version of a boat. This is the only version of boat that I like, just like boat, except this one. So we've got the hands on the outer legs, and we're pressing the hands and the legs into each other. And I want you to kind of feel how your belly draws in and up a little bit when you do that. So really keep that heart nice and high, and then you can lean back just until you start feeling the work in the core there. And you keep pressing the hands and the legs into each other. Find this just gets out of the hip flexors and really into the deeper core a bit more. Good. Okay, and then we'll lay down, and you can roll down nice and slow if you like, with or without your hands, or you can just kind of flop down. That's fine. We're going to do a little bit more core work here. But let's take a rest. You can have soles of the feet together, knees open wide, or knees together, feet wide. A couple soft breaths. Okay, and then when you're ready, step the feet onto the mat again. Knees just above the heels, so heels about sit-bone distance apart. Gather your belly in, keeping the natural curve of your lower back, and engage your pubic bone as well. Feel the front ribs kind of drawing down, so everything is engaged through here. We're going to keep the head down for now, okay? So option one, you can march, lifting one foot and then the other. I know a lot of you know this. It's simple and safe, but it's very effective. Okay, so if you feel like, oh yeah, that's good, that's what I need, please stay there, okay? Otherwise, we're going to try legs straight up to the sky, and we're going to slowly lower one at a time. Okay, and try to really feel that that belly is still drawing in. I've actually got my hands on my low belly to keep encouraging the belly to draw in. I'm exhaling as the leg goes down. You could do it either way in this case. You could also exhale on the way down, inhale, pause, and exhale on the way back up again. The exhale is kind of where the power is. Okay, and then we'll rest again. So you can draw your knees into your chest this time, maybe rock a little bit from side to side. Okay. Place your feet on the floor. You're going to keep your left foot there. And then take a hold of the back of your right leg if you can. You could use a strap for this as well. Okay. And then you're going to straighten that right leg. So this is a stretch. Okay. So you can stay here, or you can play with straightening the left leg and just see how that goes. Keep integrity in the feet, so both flexed and slightly externally rotated. So think of the heel pointing essentially towards the wall in front of you, just straight out in front. Hips sort of strong onto the earth. If you're comfortable walking your hands further up your leg, you can do that. You could also grab your toe with your peace fingers. let's gently release that. You can place the foot to the floor or both legs long for a moment. You can wobble them. Let's do the other side. So feet to the floor, holding the back of the left leg and extending the leg up. That might be plenty. You can straighten out your right leg. Nice and strong with the feet. Think of pressing out through both heels. If you're shaking a little bit, that's normal and okay. Both hips kind of connected to the mat. You might feel like your left hip is kind of wobbling a little bit. Just really ground it down into the earth. Hands could walk a little further up the leg if you want, or even holding the toe. And that's probably going to get your calf in there a little bit more. If you have a bend in the knee, don't worry about it. We're straightening the leg. It doesn't matter how straight it looks. Okay, lovely. Let's release that. You can have both legs straight in the wobble or both feet to the ground, maybe letting the knees drop apart. Take a few breaths. Okay, so we're going to recruit our strength here and we're going to play with a little bit of an inversion. So I'd like to play with headstand and we'll see where it goes from there. If you know that this isn't going to work for you, you're welcome to just take a little beat in this part of the practice and just elevate your hips a little bit so you're getting the inversion without the pressure on the head and so on. Okay, if you're comfortable coming into headstand, you can find your way to kneeling. And I'd recommend doing this up near a wall. Be careful that you're not kind of swinging towards the wall. We do eventually want to use the core to support us through our headstand. If we go further today, which we may, we will use the wall. So if you have access to a wall, that's great. If not, don't worry about it. You can also do the prep for the pose. So I'm interlacing my fingers. My bottom pinky is just tucked in and I've got a little space between the hands. So my head goes not into my palms, but into my wrists. And I want to get really the crown of my head there. Elbows are pretty close because I know they're going to widen apart. This is a great prep. You can stay here. Okay, you can tuck the toes and come into a downward dog shape. And I'm going to talk and then I'm going to do it with my breath, I think. So I'm feeling not my strongest today. Shoulders drawing away from the ears, belly drawing in, and then we're going to work our legs up. We're trying not to kick. We're trying to use leverage. And you try your best to come out the way you came in. You can take a child's pose. Okay, option to practice any aspect of that again, or if you're feeling like you have a bit more energy, which I don't, but I feel like this might help me get a little bit more energy. We'll see. I'm just kind of trying to clear it out. I feel like heavy today. I think because there was a new moon just the other day. So I'm going to use the wall for this. I'm just going to get a little closer. And sorry that you're going to be seeing my backside for a moment. But I've got my elbows down parallel. Okay, and I'm looking between my elbows or maybe between my forearms. And this time I am going to kick because you need a little more leverage for this one. And it's a very slight back bend. Just working my legs off the wall. I haven't quite mastered doing this away from the wall yet. Certainly possible. Not yet for me. Beautiful shoulder medicine though. Okay, a few breaths there and then back to child's pose, or sometimes I like seated. If you're in child's pose, hands can be beside your hips. And then we're gonna meet our friends laying on our backs again. Actually, let's get a little bit more space away from the wall. So if you've been up on that block or prop underneath your bum, you can actually stay there for this next part, or you can take it a bit more active. So we've got our feet on the floor, elbows beside us like robot arms. And then we're just gonna lift up the hips. So I personally like my heels just outer hips distance apart. So that's wider than some people will tell you. Not too close to the bum, but my fingertips are just brushing. Depends on the length of your arms though. You just don't want them right up smushed against your legs. Okay, and then lifting the hips, you can snuggle those shoulders under you, maybe interlace the fingers. A variation I like sometimes is holding the edges of the mat and pulling the edges of the mat apart with your hands. Get that nice opening in the chest. Hugging those inner thighs together. Bridge pose. You could gently come down, let the knees rest against each other, arms can open. Take a few breaths. Stay or come up again. You can keep working with bridge. If you have a wheel in your practice, go for it. I'm not feeling like that's something my body wants today, but if you know it, go for it. If you don't know it, don't worry about it. Bridge is great. Keep those knees hugging in, but the glutes are active. And then gently release when you're ready. Soles of the feet can come together, knees open wide or the opposite. Nice soft breaths. If you were coming out of wheel, hopefully you know this, but chin into chest, you don't land on your head ideally. Okay, let's take a twist. So there's lots of different ways to do this. One that's very simple is taking your feet about as wide as the mat, opening your arms up and just letting your knees fall to the right. And actually, you know what? Let's do this together. I'll give you an alternative in a moment. So just nice and passive. This is really nice for the quadriceps, sometimes the psoas. Nice for the lower back, just breathing here. This is a pretty safe twist for everybody. Stay if this is working for you, or you can take that left leg on top of the right or even a little bit ahead of it. So we're bringing the twist a bit higher up the back. Make sure you do have a little bit of a inward curve in your lower back. Okay, this is going to feel a little bit different. It should still feel good. Okay, and then we're going to slide that left foot back to the left edge of the mat. Coming back to center, and let's just wash the knees a couple of times to kind of even out the back. If you need to sort of reset your bum, feel free to do that. And then we'll take it to the other side. So the knees are going to fall to the left, and you can look to the right if you want, arms nice and open. It's just nice and passive. We're using kind of the weight of the thigh to help release the psoas and the hip. And if that's working for you, you can stay right here or stack the knees and gather in the lower back a little bit more. It's a nice comfortable twist a little higher up the spine. When you're ready, you can come back through center and wash the knees from side to side a few times. Okay, so I want to end with shoulder stand today, which is a wonderful inversion to be doing in the winter months because it supports the immune system and the thyroid. It's good for sort of encouraging and stimulating some of those glands that we might need. And it's called poison removing pose. Plow is called poison removing pose. So if you don't want to do a shoulder stand, if you've got any neck issues or shoulder issues or whatever, you don't want to, that's fine. You can put that prop underneath your hips again and just elevate your legs, or you can throw your legs up the wall. A lot of the same benefits of the pose, just a little bit different, okay? Elbows as they were for bridge, robot arms, legs up, swing the legs towards you. And again, I'm going to talk first and then go in. And then you're going to hold the back of your back, there your lower back, and extend the legs up to the sky like a candlestick, which is one name for this pose. You're not going to look right to left while you're doing it. So if you need to see it, watch me first and then come in, okay? Pressing the back of the head into the earth. You shouldn't feel like you could talk or swallow. Shoulders are doing most of the work, not the neck. You can take the legs over the head for plow if you'd like. If that's comfortable, you can interlace your fingers like bridge. If it's a little tight, maybe keeping the hands a little lower back. When you feel ready to come down, supporting your back, rolling down. Take a rest, soles of the feet together, knees open wide or legs long, whatever you like. Just receive that for a moment before you do anything else. And we'll counterpose with fish. So you're going to place your hands under your bum, palms face down, and kind of snuggle those shoulders together. So I have pretty long arms, but I'm sitting on my forearms, not my hands. And then the legs go long. Squeeze the legs together. We're going to press into the elbows, lift up the chest, and come lightly onto the back of the head. Again, the elbows are doing most of the work here. We're not putting a ton of weight on the head. We're opening the throat. Squeeze those legs. Lion's breath if you want. Stick out your tongue on the exhale. And gently place the back of the head on the mat. Again, use your elbows. Release the hands. Release the legs. Shavasana. If there's anything else you need, feel free to take it. But before you do, you may want to just rest for a moment, kind of let your body receive that fish. And then when you feel quite ready, you can gently, put your socks on, your blanket, whatever, have your bolster under your thighs, however you like your Shavasana. Maybe take a deep breath. See. And as always, stay as long as you'd like to, especially if you do have time in November, winter, whenever it is that you're watching this. Extra rest can be so important when it's darker. If you do feel ready or you gotta get on with your day, you can start bringing some gentle movements into your body, some deeper breaths. And curl to one side and gently press up to a seat. Bring your hands together in front of your heart, remembering your intention. Take a moment to honor the land, your body, the long and complex lineage of teachers that is with us in our practice. Honor each other. Thank you for sharing your practice.